Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News. Two massive results in the VCT last night with loads of roster questions going around as well, not just on the DSG side in challenges with a match coming up very soon for them, but also on the Sentinels question. Kaide says that TenZ is going to have an update very soon on his future, and Marved is implying that he will be staying on the roster in the near future. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. Plenty to discuss. Firstly, confirmation right of the new patch update coming in. Icebox is gone, Bind back in the rotation, and as Derek says, why do they nerf my agents? Because Killjoy has been nerfed somewhat with the changes we saw to the Nano Swarm and Co just a few days ago, so it could be a pretty big deal, but yeah, I imagine Killjoy is still going to be viable. Also, after the week, the Bagador is once again on the conversation. We've got Mures, Davies, Jorgamer, and FRS up for the discussion here. No, well, apart from Jorgamer, no real NA players this week, because this week 4 of the VCT was the week where NA struck back to a certain extent, and we'll see that here in a second. Quickly though, on Disguised, because they've got a match coming up soon. They play in a couple of days' time up against SR, and as they say, Toast is beside himself, driving around downtown LA, begging through text Exalt's family for a dress to his house to come, ask him to come back, right? So of course they benched Exalt from the team, and now, well, they've dropped him, right? And now Steel is benched, and it's kind of confusing why they benched Steel or what the decision is there, because Steel has still been replying to some of these tweets, but they need a replacement, obviously, and probably Toast coming in as the replacement himself isn't going to be the way to go. Although, honestly, who knows with DSG, right? These guys are very entertaining, and yeah, this is the roster they're looking for a new man in. Yay, Clear, Gangster, Nerve, +1, and it used to be Steel, now no longer the case. Maybe Toast himself is going to be the solution, but it's probably not going to work. And then as Ye says, yo, Shroud, you're late for prac. So, fantastic stuff from Disguise. They simply cannot miss on the Clout game. Doing very well, but look, when the whole Shroud rumor, there wasn't even a rumor when Shroud was joining Sentinels last year, although I believe it was ShahZaM said on stream, like, oh yeah, someone asked him who's your 5th man, and he said, oh yeah, it's Shroud, and everyone was like, oh yeah, he's just having a good joke, right? Because obviously it's not going to be Shroud, and then it was Shroud. So, you know, probably DSG aren't playing that game, and Shroud will be doing something else, but we'll see who their 5th man is going to be in a couple of days' time. Let's talk, though, North American results yesterday, or just results in the Americas, but it was North America that came out on top with Cloud9, man. I've got to give credit to this team, right? We were clowning on Cloud9 pretty hard, and I think for good reason, to be honest. When they initially dropped Ye and Vanity, they could have, okay, look, the reason they said was role issues right at the time, and in fairness, looking back on it, you could probably see that now Jake is a far better fit from a role and other perspectives than they had with Ye. So maybe that argument was actually justified in part. I'm still, you know, of the belief that there were other reasons than just role issues why they made those changes, but they might have thought, you know what, the roles aren't working that well, and from a monetary perspective, it makes more sense to go down this alternate route. Someone messed up fundamentally with making those moves at the end of the day from the Cloud9 side, but they are redeeming themselves at the moment with Zeltis and co putting on a show. But Jake is the one to me that really deserves a lot of credit. First of all, Rooney has been phenomenal for this team. I definitely had my questions about him when he was initially joining this roster, but yeah, it's got to be said, Jake has been doing so well for this team, fits what he's meant to do for this roster way better than Ye did. Not to say that Ye is necessarily a worse player or Jake is a better player or even the other way around, but just from the perspective of the roles and the team chemistry, it's working way better. So yesterday they played up against Furia, a very challenging series on paper, and we talked about it being a big series because both teams were 3-1. The winner of this series took a big step towards qualifying for Masters, and it was Cloud9 to do it. 2-0 versus Furia, map by map, series by series. So proud of myself, my team, the fans, all the support staff. So they've been absolutely killing it lately, and it is great to see them turn it around because there was a lot of criticism here, and I think for understandable reasons, but they are shutting up the haters, and you got to say fair play. So Rudy's been doing well, but Leaf and Jake really turned up this series. Furia have fallen off a little bit from their highs, I suppose. It's kind of like, you know, MIBR and Furia were looking really good. Even Leviathan were looking really good. And then all of a sudden, some of these NA teams are starting to actually show that they can compete as well. So 13-8 game 1 here on the Ascent, relatively comfortable, and then 13-9. So really impressive results, right? This series was pretty competitive, but it wasn't, you know, it was never out of the question that they were going to lose any of these maps. And in fairness, right, look at the slaying here. They were negative in the slaying, and they won this map 13-9. Shows how many good clutches Cloud9 had here in the series. So yeah, 13-9, 13-8 over Furia, and the other series was FNS and Co versus Crew, and this was a clean W, taking my Killjoy Killjoy back with Blood. Now, I've got to say, right, what were NRG thinking with those previous roles? Like, I don't know what Chet was cooking over there, but for some reason, they went back to what they normally do, and Artis was on the Jet full-time, and it just makes way more sense. I mean, Artis was brought in here to be the Jet player, okay, the Chamber player, right, but then Chamber was gone, but also is viable on the Jet, and he's by far at his best when that is the case. So they finally went back to normal. Finesse was putting on the Killjoy. They changed around with Victor back on the KO. I think like FNS was on the KO briefly as well. Like, it was weird what they were playing out there on NRG. They were trying to figure something out. It wasn't working for them. They went back to their normal roles, what they used to do, and it just worked way better, right? Som on the controller, Crashes on the Sova, etc, etc. Artis playing the duelist, right? And just looks way more comfortable in that role. I know there was a lot of talk about it yesterday, and Artis, even after the series, had a few words to say, because he said, oh, you know, all the fans say F10s, like he's terrible at all this stuff, and he just, I mean, look, he's a Scouser, right? I mean, he can't help himself. He's like, please, making sure I don't get fined, right? It was an honest mistake. But a clean victory for NRG, 2-0 versus Crew. Artis, 42 and 24, almost double positive. This is what he used to do very regularly on FPX when he was this player for the roster. But, you know, obviously Son played well as well. The entire team played really well. But you're getting the best out of him with that particular composition. 13-10 Haven, 13-4 Ascent. Very impressive second map here. And that keeps them alive. That was a must-win series for both teams if they wanted any hope. But Crew are now 0-5, so it's over for them, unfortunately, for Sergio Aguero. And then NRG now 2-3. So we've got an interesting mix-up here of the NA teams, with Cloud9 moving to 4-1, 100T at 3-2, then Sen and NRG at 2-3 respectively. So, you know, many crystals being raised, but right now C9 are, again, the best team in North America. At least by the numbers, right? Sentinels maybe can catch up, as other teams could potentially do as well, but that might depend on Marved's situation within this team. Lots of clips coming out last night. I'll share a few of them here from Marved's side, and also from Kaide, discussing his potential future performances. Marved came into this team with barely any practice, and was the most impactful player in the roster. He was making even mid-game calls as well when necessary, and just did a phenomenal job. The team looked night and day different with Marved than they did with TenZ, and we talked about roles and putting players on different roles and how that makes more sense now with Marved into the roster. Big question is he going to stay? Are they going to make another change? What exactly is going on?
I see us 8-1, maybe 7-2 if Marved has a good game and he steps in.
Damn, he's glazing me.
All right, a little respect.
My guy.
Guys,
I love you guys. And yeah, we're back. I'm back, and I'm here to stay. No, nothing. Okay. And yeah, I mean, it's gonna be fun. Hooray! It's gonna be flashing isn't mid rounding. Oh my god. I hope the comms come out. My plans are literally perfect. Even in the post plan, I know exactly how they're gonna retake, so I know how to counter it every time. Even when I'm dead, I'm telling my teammates what to do. You playing or not? Who knows? We'll see. Who does Sentinels play next week? Am I playing? Should I ask? Should I ask? C9? Oh. Ask. They said ask. Should I just hop in there C9? Should I go on C9 real quick? Prime. I'm gonna have to play against these goats. I'm not scared. Oh wait, never mind. I'm not playing. Haha. Are you actually playing? We'll see, bro. It's not my decision. You know when I said I'm here to stay, I was just feeling cool, to be honest. Just wanted to say something cool. I'm only missing my man TenZ. I went to dinner with Tyson. He was at dinner after the game.
Is Tyson going live anytime soon? I don't know. Well, there's gonna be an update on Tyson soon for you guys. I can't really say anything right now.
So we saw Marved say there on stream, he was kind of like, oh, you know, should I ask them if I'm going to play again? And it's kind of difficult to read into his words as to whether he is going to play. Now, of course, one thing to note is he actually is, before we discuss this tweet, back in Canada right now. So this is his apartment in Toronto, right? Now, I think he might have even mentioned that he lost his wallet or something in LA, so he had to go back anyway. And it's possible that he's flying back to Toronto just to pack some more things up and then coming back to LA for the longer term, which is maybe the way to go. I don't imagine he's going to be flying back to Toronto after every match weekends to play scrims and then flying back, which means one of two things. Either this is a one-time thing that Marved is coming back for this weekend and then he's going to stay in LA on a more longer-term basis, or he's actually not going to be in the team any longer, which, you know, that would be wild to me. I said the other day there's a 0% chance that happens. It's probably not 0%, but the coaches, I think, would be stupid to do it, to be honest, to get rid of Marv from the team. He's obviously keen to play. He mentioned a couple of times now, like, I'm here to stay type thing. So I guess it's the team's call, but surely it's a no-brainer to keep Marv, right? Now, Kade did mention in that clip that I just shared that there's an update coming soon on TenZ today, which is, well, probably today, maybe just soon. It might not be today. But yeah, what exactly that means, the fact that she said I can't say anything right now doesn't really say to me that he's going to be returning to the team. But, you know, look, we'll see. Definitely intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below. I know there's been lots of talk on, oh, get rid of Dephh, but Sassy, IGL and all this. But, you know, don't fix what's not broken at the moment. And since Marved came in, they've been looking very good. Maybe down the line, they're not quite as good as they need to be. They might make a change like that. But I know that Marved was giving Dephh a lot of credit for how he was IGLing during their series. And, okay, you could bring TenZ back in. Maybe there's a world as well where it's like a 6-man situation, like what Paper X do in other teams, especially in the Pacific region, where they've got 6 players on the roster for certain maps, certain situations. Maybe TenZ comes back in and they have a bit of a rotation. That's possible as well. That would be interesting to see. So we'll see what they decide to do, because keeping TenZ on the bench, if he does want to return and is fit to return, is a big call if the Sentinel staff do follow through with that. But some big questions to answer over the coming days, because Sentinels need to keep stacking up these victories. But very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll just share this video to finish, because this is one of the best I have seen from 100 Thieves. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.
你好，
你好
means hello.
，OK，
三在 B
三在 B
短
短
中
中
长。
不用在谁张光。All right.
Good job, brother.
Thank you.
You're done. We're not going to China.
Finally.
I think we kind of got it.
That was good, right?
That one wasn't bad, right?